What up, gamers? It is Will777JP back at it again with another one. And today I wanted to talk about a topic that is kind of, I don't want to say unspoken because we all talk about backlogs, we all talk about games that we stopped playing and we haven't picked back up. And I decided to make a quick video and just kind of maybe give you guys some tips that have helped me, right? As you guys know, I play a lot of video games, man. I mean, if you see my recap video, I have over 2,000 hours that I played in 2024. And I beat, I think it was 80 or 90 games or something like that. A lot of games. But there are also a ton of games that I played. PlayStation said that I tried over 350 different games. Well, if I only beat 80 of them, that means it's a lot of games that I just never went back to. I left open, or I just never found the motivation to go back to, right? I may have liked it, but something happened where I just haven't went back to it. And if you watch any of my collection videos, I talk about that a lot, where I started playing the game, something new came out, I jumped to that, and then something else came out, I jumped to that, and I just never went back into it, right? So starting this year, I started doing something different to help me catch up with my backlog, right? And I decided to make this video and share that with you guys, and hopefully it can help you out. And right here is South of Midnight. I started playing that, which I had a great time with for the first couple hours, but then my interest started to wind down a little bit. I like it, but I know that I can't take my time with it, so I'm playing it with now and kind of applying some of the things that I'm going to talk about with you guys today on how to kind of get back into it or finish up games. So before we get into it, I want to say thank you so very much for all of your support. My channel has been growing tremendously, and I am extremely thankful. For those of you guys that are not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. Help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers before the year ends, and or before April ends, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that I post. Alright, so getting into it. So as I said, guys, there's lots of games where I started playing, then I stopped because something else came out, and now I'm having a hard time going back into it, right? Because when I go back into some games, especially when I've been away for a while, and by a while, I mean a couple weeks, right? You build up that muscle memory in a game, you know, jump is R1, you know, dodge is square. It's a little bit different. The game mechanics are a little bit different than what you're used to or what most games are. And you may not think about this, but internally, your subconscious is kind of giving you a little bit of like, hold up, dude. If you go back to this game, you're going to have to relearn all this shit. Do you want to spend an hour relearning the mechanics or 30 minutes when you could be playing something else, right? So even though you may have the intentions of going back to that game, there's something inside you that kind of says, hold up, dude. Remember this game? It took you 2 hours to learn it. Do you really want to go through that again? Or whatever the case may be, right? Or maybe you just don't have the motivation, right? The motivation is big. I don't want to fucking go down on my PS5 or Xbox or Nintendo or Switch. I don't want to turn it on and go to the game or maybe even install it. You don't want to do none of that stuff. So I'm going to give you some tips and some examples of stuff that's been working for me so far this year. And I have 4 examples, because South of Midnight is one of them. 4 examples that I am going to share with you that hopefully will help you out. So the first tip that I want to give you guys is 2 minutes. 2-3 minutes. So whenever I come across a motivation issue where, oh man, like I just don't want to go back to that game right now, like I'm waiting for this other game to come out in a couple weeks, and if I go back into it, it's gonna mess it up. It's already on pause. I might as well leave it on pause. Or another big one, gaming just doesn't feel like fun right now. You know, there's nothing that's really catching my interest. You know, those are all excuses that we all told ourselves. So I use the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute rule, depending on how big the game is. One of these examples is The Invincible. So The Invincible is a game that I beat in January of this year, which is when I started kind of doing these little tips. The Invincible was an awesome game, right? It's just not the type of game that I gravitate to the strongest. It's kind of like a narrative. It's a narrative-driven game. There's not much action. You're doing a lot of decision making, kind of like Walking Simulator in a way. So something that I told myself, for example, is just play for 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, if you're not getting the vibe, if it's not sticking, if you're not enjoying it, turn it off and do something else. And I found myself, whenever I told myself just do it for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever time frame I set for myself. Sometimes it's just a minute. It's just 1 minute, right? You say, hey, I'm gonna do it for 1 minute. I'm gonna play for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then if I'm not having a good time with it, I'll stop it. Well, what I found out is when I give myself that 2 minute time frame, I ended up playing for a whole gaming session. I spent an hour on it, 30 minutes on it, 2 hours on it, and next thing you know, now I'm knocking down chunks of the game, and I was able to finish the game, right? One of the first games that I beat in 2025 was The Invincible, just because I said, you know what, give myself a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and see how I feel at the end. And that's so important because what's 2 minutes, guys? You know what I mean? And that goes with anything, whether you're just feeling unmotivated to play the game, whether the game is, you were having a good time, but after you stop playing it, like it's not calling you back, just apply 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, get yourself in the groove, and you'll be surprised how many times you just keep on playing. The other one that I do, one of my biggest problems with video games is the mechanics part, right? Or the story, right? Where I'm playing something and then I put it down and I don't go back into it. And all of a sudden I'm like, damn, where was I? What was I doing? I've done this so many times with games like Death Stranding is one where I just restart the whole damn game. And it's so easy for me to do because I love the music in that game. So I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to start from the bottom. But sometimes you have 4, 5, 6, 7 hours into a game. So what I started doing is I kind of started journaling a bit. And here are some of my notes. So I started doing it this year, right? So the first one is Luigi's Mansion. So with Luigi's Mansion, what I put it is I got 2 of the elevator buttons. Go to the 5th floor and explore. Try and get the diamond or the ruby. So whenever I'm going to go back into the game, I kind of know where I left off. With Luigi's Mansion, I knew that I got 2 elevator buttons. I know that I'm going to go to the 5th floor, and then from there, I can kind of figure out a little bit. Instead of just sitting there trying to figure out, okay, what was it that I did last? Where was the story at? Now, with Luigi's Mansion, the story is real fucking simple. Your friends get kidnapped and, and put in portraits. Princess Peach, Mario, Toad, etc. So I didn't really write anything down about the story in regards to that. But just where I kind of was, where I left off, where I was going, what I was doing are the things that I try to jot down. And it doesn't have to be super detailed. I mean, if you want to do a whole freaking page and a whole book report about it, you can do that. Another thing that you can do, which I started also doing about a month ago, is just leaving voice notes. So I'll turn on my audio recording and I say, hey dude, I just did the basement level in Luigi's Mansion. I got 2 of the elevator buttons. Floor 5 opened up and floor 2. Go to the 5th floor. We'll do the 2nd floor after the 5th floor. See what you can find there. And that's it. Right? So real quick, takes 30 seconds. And I could just go back and reference that voice memo real quick. Or I jot it down. Or on my phone, I put notes. Right? Another one that I did that with is Saga of Sins. Saga of Sins is a game that I purchased physical for like $2, and I ended up getting or digital for like $2, and I ended up getting a physical copy. But for Saga of Sins, I wrote here, and dude, my handwriting is shit, okay? And I'm just scribbling. Saga of Sins, I just got the machine gun power. Go back to the 2nd window and check for secrets. So once again, I'm telling myself what I just did and what I should do next. And guess what? If something else in the game distracts me from that and I do something else, who cares? The whole point is for kind of me to tell myself, this is what you need to do, just in case I'm feeling like I'm lost and confused. But Saga of Sins is another game that I beat in 2025. Now let's go to a bigger game, right? Because another problem that I have at least, is I stop playing a huge game and then jump into another huge game, and then I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Now I have two big ass games that are gonna take me 40, 50, 60 hours to complete, and now I got two of them open at the same damn time, right? What I like to do in that situation is, one, I stop doing that. What I mean by that is I only keep one huge game going at a time. So for example, when I was playing Visions of Mana, I knew that this game was going to take me roughly between 40 and 60 hours to complete. So I kind of avoided starting up new games that were just as big, and I stuck to smaller games like Saga of Sins and Oni, the Mightiest Oni. Now, even though these games took me, Saga of Sins took me about 18 hours to complete, and Oni, the Mightiest Oni, took me about 20. In my mind, those games were shorter in comparison to Visions of Mana. So what I would do is, which is another tip, is I look for positive content in regards to the game. So whenever I got like tired of Visions of Mana, and I would go to Saga of Sins or Oni, the Mightiest Oni, when I'm at work, I would play a video in the background while I'm working, and it could be anything. It could be a review of the game, it could be lore of the game, it could be gameplay, it could be anything about the game that is kind of, I don't want to say positive, but where they talk about the game. Because remember, you got the game for a reason, right? There was something about this game, if you don't remember now, but there was something back then when you got it that interested you enough to go ahead and spend your hard-earned money. So when you're listening to these podcasts, or you're listening to a review, or you're listening to gameplay, usually that sparks something inside of me that makes me want to play the game again, right? It's kind of like when you're hungry and people are talking, you don't know what to eat, and people are talking about pizza, and all of a sudden you're wanting pizza. Or somebody's talking about chicken, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what, for dinner I'm gonna cook chicken. It's the same concept. So if you can't find videos or anything like that, because some of these games are super small, super indie, talk about it with some of your friends. You know, like here on this channel, we have a Discord, the Will777 JP Discord, where we have about 30 people on there. We have about a nice group of guys, 10 to 15 people that are constantly on there chatting. And I'll just talk about a random game with them that I played, and I ask them like, hey guys, have you played this game? Somebody might say yes, somebody might say no, but that gives you the opportunity to talk about the game and be like, yeah, I like the art style, I like the combat, I like the whatever, and you start to get in the flow of the game. So next thing you know, you get home and you're sitting on your gaming chair, your couch, whatever, you're like, what game should I play next? Oh, I've been talking about Visions of Mana today, or the last couple of days. Let's turn this puppy back on. And there you go. That's another way to kind of get back into the game. The other thing, updates. Updates are huge. So I like to, when there's a new update on a game that I'm currently playing or I haven't played in a while, in combination with my note taking or my voice memo, I like to hop in the game to check out the update. So one huge example with that, Assassin's Creed Shadow. So I kind of been playing Assassin's Creed Shadow since the day it came out, but then I put it down for a few days, and then I go back into it. Sometimes it's just for 20 minutes, and other times I'm demotivated. But when that new PS5 update came out, or for the PS5 Pro, I turned the game on and actually went to bed late. Last night when it came out, or 2 nights ago when it came out, because I'm like, man, this looks way better. They actually patched some things up. But that was just another reason for me to insert the game and check out the new updates. So those are just a few tips, guys. And once again, on the note-taking part, it's all what you feel. For Oni, I put the second area opened up, go to the new vendor and check for new upgrades, and then continue exploring, right? So I mean, it's just whatever you like. You can be way more detailed than that. So once again, real quick, to recap some of the tips that I talked about. One is if you're playing a large game, try not to start another large game. Instead, try a smaller game, a game that's maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 hours, right? 15 hours, something you can get done relatively quick. 2, give yourself 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Say, hey, I'm gonna start this game up and only play 3 minutes. And if I want to keep playing, I'll keep playing it. If not, I will turn it off, play something else, watch TV, whatever. Tip 3, search out content or talk about the content. Meaning, if there's been a game that you don't really want to go back to, look for a YouTube video, whether it's a review, gameplay, lore, whatever. Listen to some of that. Talk to a friend about the game. Get the excitement going back up and going. And then 4, keep track of the game. Once again, doesn't have to be every single time, but on the super huge games, you know, like freaking Zelda, or like a God of War, or a Cyberpunk, or something like that, a huge game, or a JRPG, keep notes on where you're at, what you were doing, what you're gonna do next. That way when you go back into the game, you can just focus on some of the cleanup, meaning just learning or reminding yourself of some of the mechanics real quick, instead of trying to learn the mechanics, trying to learn where the story is, trying to learn where you're supposed to go, what you did, equipment that you had. Just jot it down real quick or use a voice memo and get it, you know, down on paper that way. And also, if it helps you, like for me, it helps me. When I do it, I cross it out. And it gives me a sense of completion, right? That's why I like trophies or I like achievements, because it's one more thing in the game that I did, and getting that ding, it's like a reward. Crossing it out is like a reward. But there y'all have it, man. Sorry for the video taking so long, but I know that I have this problem a lot, and I know a lot of you guys in the community have this problem as well. And try them out, man. Let me know if any of these work. Let me know if, you know, taking notes works, if looking for videos about the game works. Let me know if you playing for just a few minutes works, right? Let me know if not starting another large game while you're playing a large game already works as well. There y'all have it. Thank you so much for being here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Don't miss out on the content that I got coming up, and we'll catch you on the next one. Keep it gaming.